I am BJ Bland with the Operator Certification Program. I'm going to discuss Kentucky's process for reciprocity for drinking water and wastewater licensing. Kentucky's Drinking Water and Wastewater Operator Certification Program conditionally honors the operator licenses from other states. When the state issuing the license has equivalent qualification criteria to Kentucky, the operator may be eligible to obtain a Kentucky drinking water or wastewater license without taking a certification exam. Regulations governing the wastewater operator certification requirements and reciprocity can be found in the 401 KAR 11030 Section 2 subsection 7. And for drinking water, they are found in the 401 KAR 11040 Section 2 subsection 8. The role of the certifications and licensing branch is to perform a thorough evaluation of the operator licensing regulations of the state issuing the certification and compare these with the certification regulations of Kentucky. After the initial review to ensure state-to-state equivalency, the Drinking Water Certification Board and the Wastewater Certification Board review and recommend approval for the reciprocity application. In some instances, it may be financially more feasible for an applicant to take Kentucky's operator certification exam instead of seeking reciprocity. Reciprocity applications are reviewed in the same way regular applications are, except for the applicant's credentials are not the only thing being compared to Kentucky certification regulations. The certifications and licensing criteria from the other state are also being compared to Kentucky's licensing requirements. Applications are often denied reciprocity on the grounds not related to work experience or work history. They are denied because regulations governing their initial license do not meet the standards set forth in Kentucky's drinking water and wastewater certification regulations. When applying for reciprocity for more than one water or wastewater license, be aware that the applicant cannot double dip. They cannot count work experience for one license towards another license except for in certain cases. An applicant who has spent many years performing collection, distribution, and treatment duties will have to provide a breakdown of how much of their work experience has been spent performing each task. Some states do combine licenses, typically in wastewater collection and wastewater treatment. These may be considered equivalent regulatorily, but the applicant will still have to satisfy the work experience requirements for each license. Here is an example of how to report multiple licenses. An operator has several licenses from another state: a Class 2 distribution license, a Class 3 drinking water treatment license, and a Class 3 collection license. For this example, the operator does not have any education substitutions, nor will there be any work experience substitutions. Per Kentucky's regulations, this operator will need 2 years of experience for distribution, 3 years of experience for drinking water treatment, and 3 years of experience for wastewater collections. Assume this same operator has a total of 10 years of experience. Assume the operator time allotment is 50% drinking water treatment, 30% distribution, and 20% collections. The operator will be able to claim this much experience in each area. 50% of 10 years is 5 years in drinking water treatment, 30% of 10 years is 3 years of distribution, and 20% of 10 years is 2 years of collection. You can see above the operator has a time allotment to qualify for the drinking water license, but not the collection. The operator needs an additional year to qualify for the collection license. If the work experience substitutions are included in this scenario, the operator should not be discouraged because Kentucky does allow for work-related substitutions. In this case, the operator would qualify for the collection license based on the drinking water distribution substitutions. Regulations allow for 50% of the required work experience to be replaced by education or other related work experience. The regulations also state 1 year of distribution experience may be considered equivalent to 1 year of collection system experience. Because the applicant has worked 2 years in the collection system, they have satisfied the 50% requirement. The applicant would be eligible with the work experience substitution. Kentucky requires operators to pass a certification exam with a 70% or better for each type of license and each class of that type. The state issuing the original operator license shall also have a licensing examination with a defined minimum requirement to achieve the license. In the event of a combined licensing, such as wastewater collection and wastewater treatment, or one license, meeting or exceeding the minimum acceptable score required by the issuing state will qualify the operator on the testing requirement. They must still satisfy the other conditions of the regulations regarding the license they seek. Work experience counts as actual operations of the system. Actual operations include running samples, adjusting chemicals, fixing leaks, pulling valves and motors, jetting lines, backwashing filters, etc. The certification and licensing branch often sees operators applying for reciprocity with applications heavy in management. This is great if an operator is trying to get into an administrative role, but management of a system is not considered operation of a system. For managers who also operate systems, this will have to be documented, and often partial credit is applied towards the application instead of the full time of their employment. If a manager fills in for an employee on occasion, this work history can count in fractional terms. For instance, if a manager fills in on average 2 months a year, over a 6-year period, they can accumulate 1 year of work experience towards a license. When an applicant has a license from another state that is higher than the equivalent license offered by Kentucky, the applicant would be eligible for the lower class license offered by Kentucky. Look at this example. An operator holds a Class A license from another state. The Class A is the highest ranked license the issuing state offers. The operator applies for the Class 4 Kentucky license. A problem may develop wherein the Class A from the issuing state is equivalent to a Kentucky Class 3 license regarding work experience, education, or plant size. As with the regular license, reciprocity applicants can apply education and work experience substitutions. Experience and education substitutions can only count towards 50% of the required work experience. There is an exception when an applicant has a baccalaureate in science, technology, engineering, or a math field. Refer to the regulations mentioned earlier for the exact applicability for each educational unit or degree, along with the work history substitutions. Disciplinary actions must be identified at the time the application is filled out. Disciplinary actions do not disqualify an operator from being granted reciprocity. There are many variables to consider regarding this situation, so awarding or denying reciprocity is dependent on the type of infraction committed and the regulations of the state issuing the disciplinary action. Ultimately, the Drinking Water and Wastewater Boards will have final recommendation for the Energy and Environment Cabinet regarding granting the reciprocity. Drinking Water and Wastewater Boards meet on a monthly basis. All reciprocity applications are presented to the appropriate board for review and recommendation. This process is usually uneventful and consists of a final check to ensure that regulations for operator certification from the issuing state are equivalent to Kentucky's. For the applicant, it pays to do a little homework. You now know where the regulations are that govern Kentucky's drinking water and wastewater operator licensing. Review these regulations and decide for yourself how you think you will most likely be evaluated. This is important because the reciprocity fee is $500 per license requested. It is 2 times the price of the regular application with a test. This is a non-refundable fee, so an operator who isn't sure how they'll qualify may be better off applying to take the exam. In fact, this should not matter. The operator should have passed a similar exam already. Let's review the material discussed so far. Reciprocity is a comparison of Kentucky's operator certification regulations to the issuing state's regulations. Applicants must still meet the minimum experience criteria for Kentucky certification to become a licensed operator in Kentucky. Applicants can seek reciprocity for more than one license, but this can be expensive and increase the chances that one or more licenses may be denied if the applicant has combined licensing or has double dipped on the work experience. The board will make recommendations on all reciprocity applications, so the process may take longer than the regular application. There must be a testing component for the licensing of operators in the issuing state. Work and educational substitutions can apply as they do with the regular license. Disciplinary actions from other states do not disqualify the reciprocity applicant. However, this is evaluated on a case-by-case basis. Application fees are non-refundable. It may be more feasible financially to apply for and take the certification exam instead of applying for reciprocity, especially if the applicant isn't sure they will meet the minimum requirements. This concludes this presentation in discussing the Kentucky Drinking Water and Wastewater Reciprocity process. If you have any questions about your eligibility in using the reciprocity to obtain a Kentucky operator license, please feel free to reach out to the Operator Certification Program at 502-782-6189.